Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Liz Berger. I'm the president of the Alliance for Downtown New York, and I'm here today to make numbers fun and to share some very exciting news about where talented and creative people want to live and work. Data that should change the way that business leaders make their location decisions in the 21st century. So get ready for a few surprises, including which button I'm pressing. Right, but I need my next slide. There we go. Okay. So access to labor has always been among the most important factors in corporate leasing decisions. And for decades, the conventional wisdom has been that high-value workers prefer to live in the suburbs, in suburban New Jersey, on Long Island, Westchester in the Hudson Valley, southern Connecticut, and that they would accept long, heavy rail commutes to jobs in the city as the price of the ticket. And business leaders responded by putting a premium on the areas around Penn Station and Grand Central in an effort to attract those employees. But recent US Census data tells us that over the last 10 years, there has been a monumental shift in population of educated workers in the greater New York area. And in fact, today, an increasing share of the region's high-value workers are flocking to communities in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, in the Jersey waterfront towns which surround Lower Manhattan. These workers prefer apartment living and shorter commutes via subway, bus, path, bike, and foot to suburban life with lengthy train and auto commutes. So this demographic shift shows why Lower Manhattan is and will continue to be this smart place to locate businesses that need high-value workers to succeed. Now, this is a story that we know to be true intuitively, but the latest data from the census allows us to prove it empirically. So we looked at census data for the years 2000 and 2010, that's the most recent available, and we looked at communities, Pumas for the census gurus in the crowd, throughout the 30-county New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania Consolidated Metropolitan Statistical Area. And we focused very specifically on population trends in the areas surrounding Lower Manhattan, and we compared those trends to the other parts of the metro region, to the rest of New York City, to the rest of New Jersey, to Westchester in the Hudson Valley, to southern Connecticut, and to Long Island. Now, what we looked at very specifically was people, specifically the talented labor pool that has the most relevance to the New York City office market. So we asked two main questions. First, where does the workforce of the professional and creative services industries live today versus 10 years ago? And second, related but distinct, where are the college-educated adults aged 18 to 44, the workers who are the key to the future of New York's knowledge-based economy living today versus 10 years ago? And in both cases, the answer is clear. They are increasingly living within a 30-minute commute of Lower Manhattan. Now, this is a trend that dramatically strengthens the value proposition of a Lower Manhattan business address. So let's get to the specifics. Among people employed in the professional and creative fields, 9 of the 10 communities with the fastest growth in these target populations are within a 30-minute commute of Lower Manhattan, and all of the top 10 are on subway and path lines as opposed to heavy rail lines. So 3 quick examples. Newport Grove City in New Jersey showed 60% growth. Commute to Lower Manhattan is 7 minutes. Williamsburg and Greenpoint in Brooklyn showed 86% growth, 21-minute commute. The East Village and the Lower East Side showed 27% growth with a 5-minute commute. So I promised some surprises. Here's the first surprise. Today, there are more financial services, insurance, and real estate sector workers living in the East Village, on the Lower East Side, and in Chinatown than there are in White Plains, Scarsdale, and Hastings. So now, we have surprise number 2. There are more professional services workers living in Newport, around Grove Street, and in Jersey City Heights, New Jersey, than in Huntington and Melville on Long Island combined. And surprise number 3, There are more information sector workers living in Greenpoint and Williamsburg than in Greenwich, Darien, and New Canaan. Now, none of this was true 10 years ago. This is all new in the last decade. So here's the headline. In the past 10 years, the area within a 30-minute commute of Lower Manhattan saw the greatest net gain in the number of residents working in the creative and professional fields. That population grew to 557,000 by 2010, outranking the populations of Long Island, Westchester in the Hudson Valley, Southern Connecticut, and the rest of New York City. Now, these trends are also true for the population of college-educated adults ages 18 to 44. These are the people in the early and the middle stages of their career, many of you, and the senior managers of tomorrow. And again, what we found was that the area surrounding Lower Manhattan was a magnet for these coveted workers. 8 of the region's top 10 communities with the fastest growth among college-educated young adults were within a 30-minute commute of Lower Manhattan, and all 10 were on subway and path lines. And here's the takeaway. The number of college-educated adults between the ages of 18 and 44 within a 30-minute commute of Lower Manhattan jumped by over 172,000 people. That is a 32% gain, while the rest of the 30-county region posted a net gain of only 6.3%, which leads us to surprise number 4, which is that at 717,000, the 210 population of these urban college-educated adults is more than double the same populations of Long Island, of Westchester, and of Southern Connecticut. And here's surprise number 5. It's not just the kids out of school. This rapid growth in and around Lower Manhattan is due in large part to college-educated people between the ages of 35 and 40. The population of which grew by 24%. By contrast, the more suburban areas of the region barely held on to their population among this age group, posting a net gain of less than 0.5%. So in other words, they're not growing up and moving to the suburbs. That's the 20th century story. They're staying here. So what does this all mean for the city and for Lower Manhattan? The trends show that high-value knowledge workers are opting out of the suburban lifestyle in Long Island, New York, and Connecticut, and diminishing the need for businesses to be close to commuter rail stations. Instead, they increasingly favor urban living and shorter commutes in the communities that ring Lower Manhattan. And Lower Manhattan is exceptionally well positioned to reach these fast-growing, talent-rich communities because we are right in the center of an extensive bi-state, multimodal transit network with 12 subway lines, 30 bus lines, the path to New Jersey, 6 ferry landings, bike paths, and walk-to-work options, which already serve more than 91 million riders a year. And Lower Manhattan is going to take a big step forward, as Julie Menon mentioned earlier, with the completion of the Fulton Center in 2014 and the World Trade Center hub in 2015. Now, we're talking about the present as well as the future. Many companies have already capitalized on these assets, and in fact, more than 360 have relocated to Lower Manhattan for these reasons since 2005. But you put it all together, and it goes to show that today, companies who want to attract the region's best and brightest workers have every reason to set up shop in Lower Manhattan because it's close to where everybody lives. So thank you.